This is Greg Pasternak from Riverside Life. I'm continuing my trip in the South Central Coast region of California, and I've made an unanticipated, unscheduled stop because I am on the mesa east of the Salinas Valley. In any case, reason why I stopped here, I couldn't help myself, is because so much during this trip we've seen entrenched rivers. So it sort of raises the question, well, regardless of the valley type, what are examples of non-trenched rivers? And so I've stopped at a site that is in an overall rangeland context, but this would be oak, chaparral with some evergreen anyway, to give you a feel of what it ought to be like, if it's at least less impacted. I'm not going to say not impacted because I have no idea about this place, but still, when we look around, we have rolling hillsides. This reminds me a lot of a whole bunch of little creeks in the video game Red Dead Redemption 2 with these sorts of rolling open hillsides. But in any case, you look at this landscape, the topography is controlling what can happen here. So we have what we call the soil mantle is moving towards the channel, what we call colluvial transport, or colluvium being the hillside soils. And then you look at the channel itself, what do we see? We see relatively slow moving water. There's not a lot here, but it's not bone dry like some of the other places we've been, even though there's not much, there's not much precipitation or anything. You see that within the channel itself, there's like grass growing there. And then just behind me there is a dense riparian corridor that's sort of been left behind. But, then the riparian corridor is there because that's where the water is. And so it's able to thrive because doesn't seem like they're letting any cattle graze right in the channel, which is good. But the other thing too is you can see that, even though there's topography around it, there's sort of like these rolling hills, the channel is not dramatically separated that by a trench, like it's Star Wars Episode 4, Luke Skywalker, I got to use the Force and hit the tube. I mean, we're not in a big trench. It's not the Grand Canyon here. It's just gently lateral side slopes leading to, a gentle U-shaped channel. So, this is the kind of thing you want to see, whether, the valley context here, let me just pan around the side. You can see that the valley context here is it's a wide open valley. I mean, there's, not a lot going on here to otherwise interfere, other than there's just some topography here. One last thing I want to point out about this site for any Red Dead aficionados is that you just don't see a lot of big boulders in the river, and that's what you would expect. Like, I don't know why a lot in Red Dead, there's this size of creek is like chock full of boulders all over the place. Instead, you could put riparian vegetation in there and be fine. There's a lot of squirrels running all over the place. I think I even saw some turkeys around here. So anyway, this just gives you a feel within the mountainous context of what a non-entrenched channel in harmony with the topography ought to be like.